Good morning, EDCI 708. Dr. Palermo recording this on a rainy Monday morning following our weekend together in Charlotte. It was great seeing you and making myself reacquainted with you, and thanks for joining me. LaShonda, you were missed, and hopefully this will give you some clues about what you can do to catch up some of the content that you missed this past weekend. You missed a good defense. Jessica Van Valkenburg showed us what it looks like to successfully defend a dissertation, and that was a nice piece of learning. We did look at the PLCPBs and the CDPB, and I want to thank Mallory and Kelsey for stepping up and helping us create outlines with the new 7th edition APA. Let me go straight to that. Another instructor shared with me this cheat sheet or one-pager about APA headings in the new 7th edition. Again, Mallory and Kelsey have helped us create evidence outlines. What I did glean from this is that I think it's level 3 or 4, the text starts in a funky place after the heading. Anyway, we'll just see text starts, mostly new line, indent, new paragraph, but check that out, and I hope that this cheat sheet will be helpful to you in your work. While I'm here, I will tell you that I have created links for the Kansas State Department of Education videos that we watched. Kind of had some fun with those. When you start reading in the standards text, you're going to find, perhaps you will find, as I did, that it's deep and meaty, and I had to reread lots of paragraphs to figure out what it was saying. But I think that these videos help me get a clearer understanding of reliability and validity. Don't forget that you are needing to know this as a teacher for your classroom assessments. You're needing to know this stuff in order to lead groups of others, and in order to comment on a larger school or district level about the reliability and validity of standardized assessments. But this is also an issue for you when you're choosing instruments to use in your dissertation work, your research. So again, you're not going to want to mess up when it comes to talking about the reliability and validity of the instruments you're using in your research. Make sure you have a clear understanding of these issues in assessment. Working backwards again, something that I shared with you this weekend is the Save the Last Word for Me protocol. I handed out copies as we left and did not use that. I do plan to use this in one or another of the weekends that when we're looking at a reading. This is great to use with a group of teachers in a short 2 or 3 page reading. Give them the reading, ask them to pick out the main ideas, and then use the protocol to lead the conversation. It's a great way to lead learning with adults. And guess what? You are to be doing that leading of learning with adults. Week 1 in feedback on the Tepper and Flynn feedback text asks you, what are you doing to lead learning with others? Well, guess what? If you use a protocol like this with a group, your PLC group, your data team, any team, then you are leading learning, and that's evidence of your leading learning. So use those protocols. You can also look here to see some of the other, that's not the right place, some of the other PLC resources that are linked over here in resources, and yeah, check out the PLC resources that are there, please. So starting at the top, where I should start, I guess, you need to attend one of 2 APA sessions with Dr. Natalie Bishop about the updates in APA. We know that one of the big deals is headings, and we challenged, we tackled that early on by creating the headings for your CDP and PLCPB. Again, thank you, Mallory and Kelsey, for doing that. But you must attend one of these 2 sessions so that you know how to use APA going forward in your writing, in your citations, and in your dissertation work. So make sure that you block out time to attend one of those 2 Either one, they're supposed to be the same, and it doesn't matter which one you attend. You should be reading and writing. You have 2 dialogue posts this week. I'm going to keep both of those open. Dust off your PLCP action plan, and also do revisit your CDP unit timeline, please. Getting started on those things now is pretty important. It's easy to forget about it for a couple of weeks here at the beginning of the semester, but April is right around the corner, and those things are going to be due before you know it. You have a lot of work to do, meeting with others, leading others, implementing that lesson, that CDP plan, following up on it. Don't cut yourself short, but get an early start on that stuff. There is other beginning of the semester information here, but that's old news. You've done most of these things. Subscribe to questions for my instructor. Check the due dates. Make sure that you are posting early so that others can respond to you if necessary. Sometimes I ask that others respond, sometimes not. Bailey and Jakizik is the PLCP, your primary resource for the PLCP-B. Here, again, are there revisions that you're thinking about with your action plan? And please do think clearly and carefully. Remember the Palermo KISS rule. It's much better to have 2 or 3 solid action steps that you can measure, SMART goals, measure and are attainable and reasonable, time-bound. Make sure that you have an action plan that's doable. And if you need to cut down that action plan to keep 2 or 3 solid things that you can demonstrate you have completed this semester, do it. Again, you need to get started on that stuff soon. And Tepper and Flynn is the feedback book. What does it mean to lead learning? Well, I gave you an example with that protocol, but think again in terms of your evidences. How are you demonstrating that you're leading learning? We did spend some time looking at the evidences. I don't know whether I'm not going to spend any more time on that stuff right now. Please ask if you have questions about that. And again, there is a reference folder, a resource folder of all things PLC, stuff about teams, running effective meetings. And I added the NSRF, the school reform faculty protocol here as well. So, okay, back in week 1, mark your calendars and make sure that you attend that Zoom session with Dr. Bishop, Reed, Bailey and Jakizik, and Tepper and Flynn this week. Do respond to a dialogue post for each of those 2 readings, please. You can get a preview of week 2 here. And again, if you want to look back to see when that gentleman blinks on validity, there's your Kansas State DPI videos. Enjoy. Have a great week. You have to figure out which Tiger team is going to win in the National College Football Championship tonight. But I'll be reading Bailey and Jakizik while I'm watching football. I hope you are too. Have fun.